It's your girl Chandler, aka Entrepreher, and this is the Entrepreher channel. So if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning back to the channel, welcome back. On this channel, we talk about business and the steps you need to take along the way. So in this video, we're going to be talking about 3 steps that you need to do to get your business going. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has welcomed me to YouTube with open arms. I've got some really cool messages and text messages and DMs about my first video, and I just want to say thank you guys. If you're new here, you probably don't know this, but you can go and check the video out. I talked about 3 steps to starting your own business. One of the steps I talked about is doing your research. I wanted to kind of add something to that because I think it's important that we are aware of it and that it could possibly happen to you. So take a look. Another thing that you want to be careful on when you're doing your research, make sure that you know who you're dealing with as far as companies are concerned. You know, when you're looking for someone to do your logo, help you figure out your business entity, make sure you do your research and read the reviews. What you don't want to do is spend money on a project or a company that does not do the work that you need done. Don't wind up like me. Story time. Back in the day, I was still kind of a new mom. I had this idea to start a t-shirt company. I had been researching different companies to try to figure out who I wanted to work with. And a friend of the family was like, hey, why don't you work with ... I'm not going to say who, but he pretty much had his own business. He was doing very well with his business, graphic design. He did websites and logos and things like that. So because he was known to the family, that's the only reason why I went with this person. To make a long story short, we did not get what we paid for. We got a couple of swatches of the logo, maybe like 2 or 3, but no website, which is what we paid him to do. We wanted a website, an e-commerce business, and we got no website, no shopping cart, no sales. So just be careful. Know who you're dealing with. Oh my gosh. When I tell you that I was so upset that this happened to me, even though it was years ago, it still triggers me because it's not just about the money that we spent to get the website up and running, but it was the fact that it was somebody who we trusted, and it turned out to not be so good. Oh, we never got the money back either. So do your research. Okay, let's get into today's video. So the first thing that I want to talk about is choosing your business entity. LLC, corporation, sole proprietor. Being a corporation, you can be an S Corp or a C Corp. So you're going to need to figure out which entity works best for you and your business. I suggest speaking with an accountant so that they can help you choose which one would be the best choice for your business, depending on how big your business is, how small your business is. So you don't want to get into an entity that doesn't fit your business, So I didn't speak to an accountant. I just happened to pick the right entity. But looking back on it, I probably would have went ahead and consulted an accountant to help me figure that out. Of course, do your research. Make sure that this is someone who knows what they're doing. And being an accountant is what they do. They do these numbers in their sleep. They, can tell you what would be the right fit. Now, you can do this yourself. You would just need to contact the Secretary of State's office in your state and file. I suggest filing online because if you file by mail, it could really take a long time for them to process your paperwork. If you decide to file it on your own, make sure you do it electronically. I know every state is different. Most states should have it to where you can go online to their online services, pay the fee, and file the paperwork. I remember saying in my first video that each entity is vastly different. So an LLC, which stands for Limited Liability Company, it just limits your liability when it comes to business. That's why a lot of real estate investors, when they purchase investment property, they put it under an LLC, meaning the property. They put the property under an LLC. And the reason that they do this is because if something happens with the property, say someone comes to the property and they slip and fall, and they suffer injuries, they can only sue the LLC. They can't come for the owner's personal property. Now, just a little disclaimer, I'm not an attorney, so if you have any questions about the legalities of this, definitely reach out to an attorney and ask your questions. But from my experience and what I've learned, that's why they do that. This way, they can't personally come and take their home that's in their personal name. They can't come and take any assets from that person. They can only go after things connected with that LLC and connected with that business. Now, in an LLC, you're going to have members. You're going to have members or a managing member, whereas a corporation, you're going to have your president, your vice president, you're going to have your secretary, you're going to have your treasurer. If you do a consultation with an attorney, that attorney will be able to answer any questions you have as far as the legality of it all. Number 2, after you file with the Secretary of State, whether it's filed by you or an attorney, you're going to contact the IRS and you're going to get what's called the EIN number. Now, this EIN number is kind of like a social security number for your business. You're going to need it to open up the business account. You're going to need it so that you can file your business taxes. And this is the IRS's way of knowing who that business is. Just like you have a personal social security number, this is your business's social security number, so to speak. So you're going to need that. And you can get an EIN number. It's completely free. You can go to irs.gov and apply for that EIN number. Number 3, you're going to apply for a DUNS number. DUNS is short for Dun Bradstreet. Dun Bradstreet is kind of like your Equifax or your Experian or your TransUnion for your personal credit. This is more for business. This is also free. You can go onto their website. Their website is dnb.com. I suggest doing it online. I don't suggest calling, because if you call, they're definitely going to try to sell you everything under the sun. And most of the stuff they're trying to sell you, you don't need. So just go ahead and visit their website, get the DUNS number. It may take 30 days. If you plan on having a business that is going to be doing like government contracts, stuff like that, they'll expedite it and you'll get it in 24 hours. So that all depends on the kind of business that you have and, the kind of business that you're trying to file. So that is it, everyone. Those are my 3 things that you're going to need to do in order to run your business. Another thing I kind of want to mention, your mindset has to be right in terms of being prepared mentally to continue on this journey, because it's not going to always be, skittles and rainbows. There's going to be days where you're frustrated. There's going to be days where you want to quit. There's going to be days that you think this isn't working. Days where you're like, oh, this idea was so stupid. You're going to have to mentally prepare yourself for this journey. You're going to have to get ready, because once you come up with an idea and you're excited about it, you want to tell everybody, which is great, because as a business, you want to tell people what you do. so that people know you exist and people know that you provide this product or this service or whatever it is. So you're gonna have to get the word out, but just be prepared. As excited as you are and as great of an idea that you know it is, you're gonna run into people that may not think so. They may not think it's such a great idea. They may not be super happy for you. And you're gonna have to prepare for that. Because if you're not mentally prepared for that, it can hurt. Where you think, oh, forget it, I'm just not gonna do it. And no, you don't wanna do that. You may have some friends and some family that may not be very happy for you. But you have to accept that, and you have to expect it. Now, I'm not saying to just be a complete pessimist and just, go in with this negative attitude of,
oh, nobody's gonna be happy for me, everybody's gonna be hating, oh my God.
Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is be prepared if that happens. One thing you have to do when you have a nonprofit organization is that you have to file what's called a legal organ. That's how my county works, which means you have to let your local municipality know, hey, there's a nonprofit living over here. So what they do is they take that information and they put it in the paper. And when you go and you look at the paper, you'll see your company name, you'll see the address. It's the county announcing it, saying, basically, this nonprofit lives here now. When my nonprofit was first printed in the paper, I was so geeked about it. I'm thinking to myself, oh man, I'm official now. Like, I'm in the paper. Like, this is so dope. So I showed my mom. I'm like, hey, Mom, look, I'm in the paper. Look, it's right there. It's I'm in the paper. And she was like, oh, that's nice. She literally went on and talked to me about something that had no merit. I kind of frowned. I was like, crushed my little spirit. My parents come from a whole different generation. So I realized that it's not that she wasn't happy for me, it's just she didn't get it. She didn't understand. But I wasn't prepared for that. That's the thing. I wasn't prepared. Mentally, I was not prepared for that reaction. But had I been prepared, maybe it wouldn't have hurt my little feelings as bad as it did. And this may come from close people. This may come from your significant other, family, friends. I know people right now today who ask me about my business or they check up on my business. I know that it's not because they really want to know what's going on in my business and, hey, do you have any new products yet? Or how's it going? Like, it's not coming from that space. It's coming from a space of, did she fail yet? And I know, I don't point it out, but I know, so you have to prepare yourself mentally to deal with that. You can accept the reaction better versus having such an expectation of this person jumping up and down for you, and they're not jumping up and down, and you're like, hello. No one is going to understand your vision but you. They're not. You know what I mean? So you have to factor that in as well. No one is going to see the vision the way you see it. This person over here may think the idea is completely stupid. But as long as you believe in it, that's really all that matters. And you're going to push forward from there. So those are my 3 things for today. If you guys have any questions or comments for me, put them down below. My Instagram is @Entrepreher with 3, remember? Any videos that you would like me to make addressing something that you have, let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.